some stupid Republicans.
Are you still talking about Jefferey Epstein?
It is a fact that Epstein was charged with multiple crimes related to minors. It is a fact that Epstein owned a private island where multiple crimes took place. It is a fact that President Trump vowed to make everything public regarding Epstein. I understand that, oh, this rich guy had a private island and he'd fly people over and he'd blackmail them and they would do a bunch of illegal stuff and, you know, mess with minors, this, that, and the third. Sounds crazy. Sounds like a wild conspiracy theory. What we do know is that is a fact. Like, that's actually what happened. Understand, it used to be a big conspiracy theory. It used to be this like weird thing that we kind of think is happening. We don't know. It's been uncovered. We know it's there. It exists. Like, there's nothing else to debate about it. And now we're being told by the Trump administration here in July 2025 that Epstein didn't have a list. And by a list, I'm referring to what most people are referring to is like just a list of people who at least gone to the island. A list of people who are known to be corrupt. A list of people who are found in the footage of all the minors being abused. But not just that, they're also saying that Epstein did in fact self-delete, which personally I find both of those claims to be quite ridiculous because I'm tired of being gaslit to hell and back. Like, you're telling me there's no list, and I get it. Maybe there's not like a piece of paper with a list of names, you know, maybe not like an actual list, but you mean to tell me you can't at least find out who's gone to the island, who's in the tapes, who was always with them on the island, who these kids maybe been talking about? Like, you don't have that? At that, his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, is in jail right now for conspiring to traffic minors, but I just want to know, to who? How you trafficking something? Where is it going? Like, what's the end? What's the end result here? Who did you know? Who was your client list? Who were you going to traffic it to and what for? That's all we want to know. And truth be told, I feel like she next. She finna be pardoned or let out. Something ain't right, something fishy, and I'm sorry to say, it doesn't make sense to me, and obviously we all need to be looking into this more. Is it still like breaking news as far as the Trump administration saying, oh, nothing's wrong, it's fine? We know it's not. But it's just weird that, like, you say there's all this footage of minors being abused. You say, like, this person's literally in jail for trafficking charges, but, like, to who? Why is that such a difficult question to ask? Why is that such a difficult thing to pull together? At that, yes, there is this conspiracy theory that Epstein didn't, you know, self-delete himself in that jail cell. And that's cool. We can all have these theories. You know, people can say, oh, well, actually, he did actually delete himself. And some people think, no, he was let free or he was, you know, put down. But at the end of the day, the footage that our government just gave us of the jail, that's gonna make somebody a conspiracy theorist at that point. Look at this footage they gave us. It's missing a whole minute. How are you going to say we have proof, we have footage, Epstein did in fact KMS and no one went after him, no one murdered him, no one set him free, and you give us footage that's missing Everything's fake and gay at this point. Everything's fake and gay. It's dumb. I'm sorry. I want to be more positive, but when it comes to the heinous crimes that this man has done, you know, the stories and everything that we've seen, that we've uncovered, it's ghetto. What is happening? This is the type of shit that pisses people off because it's about the principle. And this is a slap in the face to everyone out there, especially this big base of people who supported the Trump administration and everybody else, and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, all these people that say, oh, we're going to get the list and we're going to get it out and they're going down, to now we're just basically being told to shut up. Got it. In this video, we're going to be talking all about this Epstein case and why people just don't believe what the officials have to say regarding this case.
Are you still talking about Jefferey Epstein?
Yes.
This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Yes, people are still talking about him because, one, you ran on that, sir. You said you're going to get to the bottom of it. You said you're going to get all these people to tell the truth, this, that, and the third. At that, I understand. We have all these things going around in Texas with the floods, and there's a lot going on in America right now. But it's your admin that put out, you know, all these statements talking about we don't have to worry about Epstein anymore. Who?
That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this.
In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed. And my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well.
I'm all about full context and full clips. And I will take her word, and that's maybe what she meant. But she didn't say that off the bat. If someone's asking you explicitly about this Epstein list and you respond with, it's on my desk along with a bunch of other files, how do you think someone's going to take that? What did you expect? You knew there was no list, like we're being told there's no list. You should have just said, well, actually, there's no Epstein list, like there's no list of clienteles, but I am looking into his case about it. You should have said that. As someone who is this high ranking, literally our attorney general here in the United States, think when it comes to topics as sensitive as Epstein, you would be more clear on your words and what exactly is going down and with how you're regarding it. And back to Trump, it's like, yes, people are talking about it because well, people have been talking about this for years, including you.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would.
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to countermand missing children and exploited children going forward.
Apparently there's nothing to worry about now. So we're hearing all this. We're having these serious conversations. We're talking about this, making jokes. Oh yeah, we need that list out and we need to go after trafficking and I'm gonna unseal everything. But now there's nothing. It's just poof. Just gone. This is why people are upset. This is why people are losing more and more trust within this administration, but also just the feds and our government as it is, because we really thought we were going to go in there and the truth's going to be exposed, and it's not. And on one end, I can kind of get, not grace, but I can almost look at it from a different viewpoint of if it is as bad as we may think it is. Okay, let me give this example. Here's an example about cancer, right? If there was a cure to cancer and it just was a pill, right? Out of nowhere, boom, here's a pill for cancer. It cures everything. Yes, that cure is great. And what we created was amazing and it's going to save lives, but it is also ending lives because you're talking about taking out the worldwide business of cancer. Oncology research, all these doctors, specialists, medicines, treatments. You're wiping out so many jobs and money, it's not even funny. So it would cause a lot of damage, and in something like this Epstein case, if I was gonna say in another world, if it is true that all these public officials and everybody that's in charge and all these corporation CEOs, this, that, and the third, they're all compromised and they're all bad and they're all part of this big old ring, and we take them all down at once, just dismantle the whole system, and it might be crazy, but that might need to happen.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting
Yes.
of the Catholic school.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for
Right.
local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list?
But now you're the person saying there is no list. You wonder why people are like really angry and going crazy. Like, I get it from, again, if I'm just playing devil's advocate here, you outside the club and you look in the window, you're like, they got the list, they got the list. Now you in the club, you're in charge, now you in the club, and you're like, oh wait, there's actually no list. And now you're telling us that there's no list, but like, why were you so convicted on there actually being a list? It's not even that you have to be convicted, it's just common sense. Of course there's a list somewhere, of course there's like, there's data. There's something out there that at least says, hey, these people spent this amount of time on this island. These people were spotted, I don't know, in the amples and hours amount of footage that was recovered. Or hell, I don't even know. Even the cameras. It was reported that all his houses, Epstein houses, had cameras everywhere. Maybe on those. We need a round table. We need everybody to pull up, sit at a table, and just flat out tell us what is going on in a transparent way. Like, honestly, like, say, hey, I understand that when it comes to the list, like, we don't have like an actual list, and it's really hard to pin down this, and this because of this, and this. Like, just be transparent about it. You can't just flat out say, and there's no list. Oh, actually, here's footage that's missing footage. It does not make any sense. And apparently things aren't even making sense within the FBI itself, because right we see here, Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino has told people he is considering resigning amid Epstein files fallout. And as I'm even filming this video, apparently Kash Patel is feeling the same way. There's something going, it's something in cahoots, you guys. It's getting crazy. And it honestly wouldn't have to be this crazy if everybody just flat out said what it is and what's going on. And one thing is clear, whether you're on the left, center, or right, it doesn't matter. This is a nonpartisan issue. It is a deal to get this man down and figure out who was working with him, who was doing what, and just literally get to the bottom of it. I'm telling you guys now, in the midst, this year has already been, Trump's only been in office for 6 months. It's been insane. If you want to get your news from the same place I get my news, do know it is Ground News. You can tap the link below or scan the QR code here on the screen to get involved. The main thing that I love about Ground News is you're always being able to see what the left, center, and right is saying clear as day. You go on their homepage, there's no advertisers because no one's swaying their position and let's actually, all these ads, they just want to be on liberal stuff or they want to be on central stuff. No, it is user funded. And see, there's just so much going on. You get daily briefings, forensic analysis finds out DOJ's Epstein death video was edited. What? Anti-establishment skeptics, institutional supporters are saying this. This is sick. See, this is exactly why I love Ground News. It's clear as day who is saying what, the supporters, the skeptics, bias distribution. Oh, you need to get involved with Ground News. Be sure to tap the link below, scan the QR here on the screen. And something else that I love dearly that Ground News does super well is a section called Blind Spot. And it equips you with the tools to see everything going on in the news. Because right here on the left side, you see everything that the left isn't talking about, but the right is. And on the other side, everything that the left is talking about, but the right isn't. Some quick examples right here on the right. Andrew Schultz, Trump is doing the exact opposite of everything that I voted for. Valid. The right really isn't reporting on that. Why? Because Andrew's pretty much like on the right side and he's criticizing Republicans. And then over here on the left side, something that the left isn't talking about, this doctor was fired. Yes, I've seen this. After backlash over posts mocking the flood victims. It was a left-wing doctor mocking the people that are dying in the floods. The right's talking about it a lot, but the left isn't, because the left isn't going to highlight how deranged some of these people are. So again, you guys, in this media landscape, it is so important to stay grounded and get your news from a trusted spot. And the main place and the only place that I really trust is Ground News, because it's giving you everything, all the sources, all the sides, and everything that you need. So be sure to tap the link below, scan the QR code here on the screen to get involved, and do know they're giving you 40% off the Vantage plan, which is the one that I use that unlocks all the cool features that we've gone through in this video.
People can continue to speculate as much as they want. And I think there's still open questions here regarding how did Epstein make his money? Right, that's a very serious open question. And the speculation for a long time was he made his money from blackmail. But the DOJ and the FBI, again, run by people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, are telling you, I'm not telling you, they're telling you, people who are members of the Trump administration, people you elected and put into these positions to get you the truth on this matter, are telling you that he didn't, in fact, he was not murdered, he did not keep a client list, and he did not blackmail powerful figures. Okay, right? That is the thing that they are saying, not I. They are saying this.
I get that the people that we voted to get in charge are the ones telling us this information, but they disagreed with themselves 6 months ago when they weren't there. So it's weird. The switch up is really weird. Like I said, that another analogy, I get that you inside the club now, you get to see everything, but something's not adding up. When one, the blackmail thing, we know from various sources, various past workers, that his houses were riddled with cameras, for one. Two, that clearly there were people in these houses at these parties, his friends list, there's people that were, you know, thought to be trafficked to, where there's footage of kids being abused. So it's like, who was doing the abusing? There's something out there. We know that that's just a given. It's not really a speculation. That's just common knowledge. There is something out there on this. And three, you of all people should know the right side, because I get this is like a nonpartisan issue, but like the right side is one to always question the government, especially after 2020. We're not just gonna blatantly, oh, because I voted to put Trump in office, now that means I'm just gonna blanketly accept and believe anything that he tells us. No, always gonna be skeptical. Even if I vote you to be in office, I'm still gonna be skeptical of what you're doing because of how much corruption we do know is around and how easy it is for people to be corrupted. So yeah, people are skeptical. Yeah, people are like, no, this does not add up, and that's just blatantly not the truth. Especially when regarding this list, I just feel like it's common knowledge. There's something out there. I'm not trying to sound deranged or crazy or loony, but it's like, if you're charging somebody for trafficking, who are they trafficking to? You at least know his closest friends and who was on the island at least.
If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are in fact lying, because I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me. I know Kash Patel a little bit. I don't think Kash Patel is lying to me. I don't think these people are lying to me, which means that if somebody else continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence at this point. And now is the point at which the facts on the ground have changed. And so either you ought to shift your opinion based on the facts that have now emerged, or you ought to acknowledge that this was never a fact-based inquiry in the first place.
Listen, I'm all for trusting Dan and Kash, but even now with this news of them maybe leaving, maybe not, there's some ruffled feathers up in that house right now. We will see what happens, and we'll definitely be reporting on it. But off the bat, something's still very fishy, especially when these same people went extremely hard on this Epstein case. Only for what?
But how can you say that thousands of children were raped, but I'm not going to find out who raped them? Yeah. How can you say that?
I agree completely.
They said that. By the way, when Pam Bondi went on television and said, I have a videotape of kids getting abused, I followed this case closely, and I know.
By who? That's all we want to know. Who?
A lot of the people involved, as I've told you. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got raped? Yeah. Who raped them? Where are the rapists? Like, why aren't they in jail? What? This is the Department of Justice.
Yes. Yes.
That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just think it's very dangerous to play around with this stuff. Like, very dangerous.
Well,
I don't want a revolution, but if you wanted a revolution, this is how you would act.
Yes. Yeah.
Accurate. People are fed up, and they're not going to drop this. They're not going to sweep this under the rug because of how crazy it is. Like, the idea back in the early 2000s, like, oh yeah, there's apparently like some island like elites go to and they have a lot of fun and do this and that. That sounds like a crazy like conspiracy theory, right? We know it's real now. So now we're trying to figure out, how real is it? How far does it go? Because right now, what we're being told is not lining up. It's not adding up. You're talking about, here's this footage of this damn jail cell. You're missing a minute, and it's not even to his door. It's to the door to get to his door. Weird. Two, tomorrow there's no list. Okay, sure, there may not be a list, a piece of paper, but you can compile, okay, we have a bunch of names who we're going to interview, bring up, and really talk to and learn more about this man and the things that he was doing. There's things we can do. But to just say, no, just sweep it under the rug, like, you know, case closed, shut it, moving on. People aren't going to move on from this. They're just not. And the only reason it's been a little hush-hush here and there. Like, we're talking about something that happened in 2019, and it's still as prevalent. Why? Because it's a big deal to people.
Stephen Scully knows the property well. He worked there for 6 years.
When you first met Jeffrey Epstein, what were your impressions of him?
Real smart guy. Unbelievably focused.
Scully says he was told not to talk about what happened on the island.
When you say you saw young girls, were they under 18, do you think?
I have no way of knowing that, truly, but they appeared to be young to me.
Scully also told us there were photos of topless girls in buildings around the compound, and says he quit his job after a conversation with one of Epstein's employees from Palm Beach.
He said, "What's with the young girls?" And I said, "Oh, yeah. I'm not real comfortable with the young girls thing, too. Is that in West Palm Beach as well? He said worse.
Did you consider in that moment perhaps reaching out to law enforcement?
No.
When you look back on it now, do you wish that you had?
Yeah.
Epstein pleaded guilty to soliciting prostitution in Florida in 2008 as part of a controversial deal. In a civil case against the government about that deal, one accuser says she took part in an orgy on Epstein's private island in 2002 with approximately 8 other young girls who appeared to be under the age of 18. According to government records, Epstein is registered as a sex offender in the Virgin Islands, but unlike in the U.S., where he had level 3 sex offender status, considered the most dangerous, in the Virgin Islands, he is classified as Tier 1, the least dangerous. It meant he had to check in with local authorities just once a year.
His own employees, like there's so many people talking about the craziness of this island. So many people have the experiences. It's like at some point there are questions about like if footage was deleted, if evidence was destructed. Like there's so many questions still surrounding this case when I feel like if it's anything else, when we're left with a lot of questions, that's when the civilians, you and I, that's when we have questions because we understand how deep the feds can go, right? And it's just so convenient that when it comes to, you know, the person that tried to assassinate Trump, stuff like Epstein, and when you tie it back to like a government agency, it gets a little weird and fishy and we don't know what, this, that, and the third. But anything else happens, oh, we know everything about them. We know immediately what happened, case closed, this, and that. We have all this information. But when it comes to the sketchy stuff and the stuff that makes us go, all of a sudden, y'all don't got the information. Y'all can't work your magic. Listen, I'm just keeping it real.
Were people surprised out here when they heard about his arrest in New York?
I don't know if surprised would be the right word. Maybe happy that it finally happened.
Residents also tell us Epstein was looking to expand his estate on Great St. James, the island he bought in 2016.
Beaches in the Virgin Island are public property, but Jeffrey Epstein has made it very clear that the rest of this island is not. He has been doing construction on Great St. James up until very, very recently. We're told that this white shed was built only a few months ago.
The work being done right up until his arrest, bringing new attention to this tropical hideaway and raising new questions about what may have happened here.
Okay, one, this interview, this footage is from when he was first put in jail just years ago when he was actually alive. 2, that's the house on the island. And what you see here is you see that little driveway going down, you see the house on top, you see a retaining wall, you see a house underneath. There's a basement. You see 1 story on top. There's clearly a basement there, right? I'm just trying to show a different perspective. There's conspiracies that there's tunnels all throughout the island, right? Bear with me. If we know there's tunnels from Mexico to the United States, we know there's tunnels in DC going from the White House to this building, and that, and we know this is his own island. He owns the whole island. Filthy rich. The richest and the famous of the richest and famous go to this island. It's clear there's basements. It's a good theory to say there's also tunnels leading to the other buildings on the properties or like little dungeons or this, that, and the third. It's not far-fetched. So I'm glad this image is here because like that is one that I believe there's actually tunnels all over this island. And if everybody wants to squash this LiDAR, like whoever's in charge of this island now and who has up to all the property rights, use some LiDAR and let's see how deep this thing goes. Are there actual tunnels or not? Like this, it's very clear to shut down all the panic. There's a clear way to shut down all the panic. Be open and transparent and do everything you can to highlight and expose this man. But with how shady everything is, people ain't having it.
I want to be clear. Jeffrey Epstein sexually harmed children. How can you possibly not find the courage to stand up and say the truth about who he was doing that on behalf of? I'm not stupid. Everyone is waking up to what Israel is. Everyone's waking up to the stranglehold that they have in our politicians, our foreign policy. And now we're going back and we're realizing that it's maybe always been this way. They can assassinate sitting presidents. They can steal our secrets and hand it to the enemy. They can steal our technology. They can blackmail our politicians and businessmen. They can protect those who rape our children. They can murder Palestinian children. They can steal land. They can blackmail sitting presidents. We did Clinton.
Okay. Lord Jesus. This list, this video of Candace Owens is what she's talking about. JFK, Pollard, Damona, blackmail, traffic, murder, steal, honeypot. I'm not talking about Jewish people. I'm talking about a government the Israeli government has dealt with all this. If you don't know what a lot of these things are, I would just Google those words and Israel behind it, and then there you go. The same way we can look into Russia, we can look into China, we can look into Mexico, we can look into Canada, we can look into Israel. And there's a lot of weird stuff that comes up. It genuinely is. There are a lot of things that are just odd, like that compilation of, for some reason, all our presidents going to Israel, and I've never understood that. I don't get it. Because just for a second, just imagine every president and high-ranking politician went over to China and did something like with the CCP, or like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I get that, you know, Israel can be seen as our ally and like we're participating in their culture or whatever, but like, this is odd.
Because of Israel. I think that, because I mean, when you really dig into Epstein, his entire network was Israel. It was clearly, like Ehud Barak was the ex-prime minister and the ex-head of Israeli intelligence.
Yeah, that guy, he spent so much time with Jeffrey Epstein. So much time, even after all the lawsuits. And we're talking about someone that's that high ranking in Israel, this close and this buddy with Epstein, who is suspected to be a spy and be, you know, this blackmail agent and this, that, and the third. It's a little weird. That's why people are very much questioning what's going on, given our America's extreme loyalty to Israel. So much so, there's a clip, I'll find it. Trump just said Netanyahu was like the greatest person on this earth, and was like,
you have the greatest man in the world.
Can we tone it down just a little bit, please?
Leslie Wexner was one of the most powerful pro-Israeli philanthropists. The whole organization was Israel.
And that guy too, Lexi Wexner, him and Epstein worked very close together. And I'm not talking like very close. We're talking 2-decade-long friendship, this close, all in each other's finances, visiting each other. And again, basically it's guys. It gets in some touchy territory. I'm gonna let this video finish, but this is just a glimpse into why some people are not only very much fishy about what's going on with Epstein, but also why some people are calling Epstein a spy for Israel because of just the weird and very close ties to the government. Again, has nothing to do with Jewish people. Talking about the government.
So and I'm not saying it was all of Israel.
It was all intelligence gathering, and
it was targeting Americans. It was targeting American officials and the American president. Right. And the CIA does have interest in those targets too. Elements in the CIA does. Certainly they had help from the CIA, and certainly they had help from these other organized crime and intelligence operations.
It gets wild, you guys. It really does. I'm telling you. So just be sure to subscribe. I'm working on this video to really outline in a very respectful way why people are defaulting to a disdain for the Israeli government and the ties that they've had with these controversial people, because they're very very closely tied to this Epstein case, especially if we're talking about blackmail and all of that. It gets wild, you guys. So that's the latest and what's going on with Epstein. Off the bat, something's fishy. Something ain't sitting right with me, and I hope this video outlines why a lot of other people feel the same way. And towards the end of the video, we get into a little bit of why people think Epstein was a spy, why people think the Israeli government is involved, and I'm working on another video again talking about this, so be sure to subscribe. But off the bat, I hope this explains some things at least, because I'll be sure to update you guys on the developing case regarding Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, and seeing what's really going on, and Pam Bondi, what's going on with the FBI, and if anything's really actually going to come out of this. But as always, let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts? Where do you land with this? Do you feel like they're telling the truth about Epstein and like we just sweep it under the rug? We have bigger things to worry about? Or are you on the side that's like, no, this is big enough to worry about because of the implications that it can have for our government and the spying and all the children that have been affected and the weird stuff with the island and who's corrupt, who's not? Do you think it's still worth diving deep into? What are your thoughts below? Let me know in the comments. And as always, I'm very grateful and thankful for you spending your time here with me today. I do not take your time for granted. I'm thankful that you're here watching. Hope that you like the video and subscribe. And let me also know in the comments what other topics you want me to talk about. Are there other conspiracies that you want me to touch on? Like, you know, Operation Paperclip, Operation Northwoods. Come on now. We can get into Nestle, like the company. We can get into the Bilderberg Group. We can get into, there's so much. Antarctica. Hey, like, listen, I'm down to branch my content out even more. So let me know in the comments below what other conspiracies or what other topics in general you want to hear me talk about. So with that being said, again, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this video. And I hope that you do know that you can achieve anything you put your mind to. As long as you focus on you and only you, you will get there and you will achieve your goals and dreams. The only person that's going to block that blessing is you. So truly, muster up that confidence to get what you need done, come up with a plan and strike and just go for it, because you only live once, and now is enough time of you just sitting around doing nothing. Go out there, achieve your goals and dreams, have faith that you can and you will do that. So with that being said, love you guys a ton, and I'll catch you in the next video. Deuces.